What's going on, everyone? And welcome to J Sports Seattle. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Seahawks. I know I said I probably was going to make a Seahawks video for a while, but things just continue to keep happening with this team. Oh, nearly 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. It's just never ending, it seems like. So let's get into it. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. All right. Oh, man, I was looking at this dude, man. He looks like he was going crazy. But anyway, first thing, I'm sure you guys are already aware, the Seahawks are officially in the process of being sold, as posted on their Twitter account, probably on Instagram and Facebook and every other social media platform they're on. I mean, it's about time. I mean, this is what needed to happen. It was written in his will. As in written in his will, it is to sell his sports holdings and direct all estate proceeds to philanthropy. So probably to a bunch of nonprofits and everything everything that was in his will essentially. It's been a great run. I mean, he bought the team in 1999, and he just flipped the franchise. I mean, the franchise is better because of Paul Allen and Jody Allen, who continued to lead this team to success. Jody Allen did exactly what she needed to do in order to fulfill her brother's wishes. I'm pretty sure it wasn't written in his will, but I'm pretty sure he told Jody, go win us another Super Bowl, then do your thing. And I think that's exactly what happened. We won the Super Bowl, and 2 weeks later, this team is officially up for sale. So, I mean, it's about time. And for those of you that are worried about the team potentially being moved out of Seattle because like the Sonics, this is a completely different situation. The Sonics, they didn't get an agreement or a deal done with the city to get a new stadium built or renovations built. I think Key Arena was falling apart when they were there. And usually when a team moves, it's either because there's low attendance numbers and or the stadium just is not fit for basketball. For NBA basketball, I should say. And I think that's what happened. And obviously Clay Bennett bought the team from Howard Schultz, and the rest is history. They moved to Oklahoma City, where they have a passionate fan base because that's the only team that Oklahoma City has in any of the four major sports. So I mean, it was a good call to move there especially in the Midwest, where there's other Midwestern states like Nebraska. There's parts of Kansas. There's Kansas. There's the Dakotas. It's in the central part of the U.S. where where people can root for them. So, and they won the championship. I mean, to be fair, it's the same organization as that was in Seattle, but same GM as as in Seattle. But Seattle's different, or the Seahawks is different because, firstly, in the NFL, you just can't go moving places willy nilly. I believe 24 out of 32 NFL owners have to approve it to even happen, and the reason why that they do that is because if you're moving a team, you have to make sure you're moving to a team where there's going to be either equal or not equal. It's going to be more beneficial to the owners because remember, I'm pretty sure this like in the MLB, I'm pretty sure in the NFL, revenue is shared among teams in terms of like it's a collective thing. So obviously the Seahawks, they're a pretty big market in the Pacific Northwest. I believe they're top 15 in top 15 market. I think maybe 12th or something like that. And I mean, it's because the Seahawks are not just limited to Seattle. I mean, the entire state of Washington, you have Oregon, you have Idaho, you have you probably have Montana, you have Alaska, you have British Columbia. That's not America, but it's still, Pacific Northwest. That entire stretch is all root for the Seattle Seahawks. So to move that away from there, that would not that would not be a good idea. Like, you would get boycotts in the NFL if that were to happen. So that will not happen. I mean, obviously, like the Rams, they moved from the St. Louis to LA, but let's be honest. It's St. Louis to LA. St. Louis has been having a declining population for the past several years, and LA is LA. So obviously owners are going to take a look at that, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, let's do that. Seattle's different. Seattle is still steadily growing. Last time I checked, I saw it was like close to 780,000 people. So, I mean, I'm here in good old Arizona, so. Oh wow, this is AI. I don't want to use AI. Oh, nope. This might be right because of this right here. Passes 800,000. So there are over 800,000 people that live in Seattle. And the Seattle metropolitan area is top 10 in size. That entire region roots for Seattle. Obviously, you may have a few Niners fans littered there in there, but that's all Seahawks Nation, man. Everywhere you go, it's Seahawks Nation. I mean, Seattle, let's see. I mean, this is just to help, make everyone that's a little worried about this team potentially being moved calm down a bit and, have their nerves calm, I should say. Metropolitan area population. 4.1 million, which is the 15th most populous metropolitan area in the U.S. So that is a lot. 15th as of the 2020 census. So, I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So, obviously, like I said, you have Alaska, you have British Columbia, you got Oregon, you got Idaho, you got Montana. You probably have parts of North Dakota, maybe. Like, I doubt that, but you never know. Maybe Utah. I know a lot of Utah roots for Denver, and rarely the Cardinals, but mainly Denver. Maybe the Raiders, since they're now closer. But Northern California might have a few Seahawks fans there, but that's all Niner Nation and maybe still Raider Nation. So, I mean, but either way, just how big of an impact and how big of a reach that the Seahawks have, and not just in Seattle, but globally. Like, Seattle has a pretty big following globally as well. So, no, it's just not going to happen. Now, after speaking about that, let's move on to even more news, which is, like I said, Brian Fleury got hired as an offensive coordinator, or as the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks, and I think it's a really good hire. Honestly, after listening to his press conference, I went from a pretty decent hire to a pretty good hire, really good hire actually. So let's go over to a bit of what he said in his press conference. I mean, the thing that stood out to me when I listened was he didn't really stutter. He was confident what he was saying. He knew what he was saying, and that's what you want in a guy that's going to be calling plays, offensive plays on your team. He said he wants the Seahawks to be fast, violent, and aggressive. So Mike just said he just did a phenomenal job. I think his vision and what he believes in offensively was aligned with how he wanted to. The principles and philosophy on how he goes about his business and how he coaches and what he wants from our offense. He took it straight from out of our culture graphic. So he has no play calling experience, but then again, every single offensive coordinator never started off with not having play calling experience. And who better to learn under than Kyle Shanahan, one of the best offensive minds in the league. I mean, obviously he didn't do well against us, but that's because he ran into the best defensive mind in the league. So that's okay. He's coming from a system that is ran similarly, like I said in my previous video, that is ran similarly to what we ran this year, or technically, last year, I guess. Or the team that just won the Super Bowl, as said right here, he said Fleury came over from the 49ers, said his offense looks very similar to the one that just won the Super Bowl. And he said he wants his team to be fast, violent, and aggressive. This is what you want to hear from a guy that's going to be calling offensive plays this year, and that's going to be in charge of that entire side of the ball. Obviously, Mike's going to have his input in how he wants his offense ran, but Fleury is in charge of that. Mike Macdonald, I mean, he ain't messing around. Look at his face right here. Just look at his face. He knows he found someone. And he knows that with this guy, the sky's the limit. And that this team is, we're serious about trying to run it back. I mean, we're trying to run the similar offense that made us that was top 5, top 3 in the league. Like, you got to stick, like Mike said, you got to stick to what our plan is, what we're doing. And that's run the ball and have explosive plays. Throw it down the field. Sam Darnold fits that, boom or bust mentality pretty well. And so far he's been boom, by all means. I wouldn't say boom or bust. I would say, air it out. Sam Darnold kind of, honestly, boom or bust. Because, Sam Darnold, watching Sam Darnold, and even though I wasn't alive watching him, I mean, I was. But, watching, like, his prime years, Sam Darnold kind of reminds me of Brett Favre. He really does. Dude he has a cannon of an arm. He can throw it down the field. He can make a big play. But sometimes he can make risks. And sometimes he throws the ball when he shouldn't. That's big risk, big reward, basically. High risk, high reward player. That is exactly what Brett Favre was. And that is what Sam Darnold is. Obviously, he hasn't really seemed to be that way during the playoffs. He seems to be more laid back and more low risk. Let my defense win the game. But that's a testament of how adaptable and how good of a quarterback Sam Darnold is. In order for you to be a good quarterback, you also have to adapt. And that is what he did. He adapted in the playoffs. He didn't feel like he needed to play hero only when he needed to. Only when his number was called upon in that Rams game where he threw for nearly 350 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, all under pressure. He knew when he needed to step up, and he knew when he needed to take this backseat and let the rest of his team win the game for him. And that is what makes you a good quarterback. And that is the reason why we have Sam Darnold. I'm sorry, Jalen Milroe, but Sam Darnold is the guy. He just is. I mean, maybe we can use you in some Taysom Hill type. And I know Mike said he's going to develop him as a quarterback, but man, Sam Darnold's it, man. Like he's the guy that help lead us to a Super Bowl victory, not just a Super Bowl victory. So I have a feeling we are going to extend Darnold in the offseason, especially Brian Fleury. Even if we have a good offense this year, this is his only first year playing calling. I feel like he'd be here for I feel like he'd be here for a couple of years at least. So Sam Darnold's the dude. And I want us to extend him, free up some cap space for this year, and let's go run it back. I mean, it's as simple as that. Brian Fleury, I really like what he said. Like I said, hey, you know what? Not like I said. I want to say this. Whatever Mike and John do from here on out, I'm going to trust them. And honestly, quite frankly, you guys should too, because this team just won a Super Bowl under these guys' guidance. So if Mike Macdonald thinks this guy is the guy that can help lead us to a back-to-back Super Bowl berth and Super Bowl victories. Oh yeah. I mean, you got to give these guys lifetime contracts. I mean, it's as simple as that. Like before the team is officially sold, like Jody's just got to give both of these guys, like John and Mike, just lifetime contracts. It's as simple as that. Don't let next ownership even worry about the front office. Let it figure itself out. Because like these guys, I'm already on the fence about giving them a lifetime contract. I mean, Mike Macdonald literally won a Super Bowl in his second year ever as a head coach. This guy was never a head coach before, and he won the Super Bowl in his second ever year. I don't even think Mike Tomlin can say that. So I don't know, man. Like here. I want to find out. Was Mike Tomlin a college head coach? Nah. Graduate assistant? I guess Tomlin too. Yeah, Tomlin did do it. So kudos to him as well. But even then, he ever since winning the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 43, he hasn't done it since. He hasn't even made it back. He hasn't made it back to the Super Bowl since the year that A-Rod beat him. But Mike is different. I feel like Mike is different. Mike, like, because I mean, just look at Mike, man. This dude is not wearing any more Super Bowl. He's not wearing any more Super Bowl merch. He's wearing standard Seahawks gear. He's like, all right, Super Bowl's over. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl 2 weeks ago. It's a new year. It's time to go again. I just think that's different, and I really, really like it. And I think we're in a really good spot. And obviously, we are in a really good spot because we just won the Super Bowl. But I think we're like the future is still super bright. We have one of the youngest rosters in the league still, fourth or fifth youngest roster in the league. We have all this cap space. We still have premium picks. We still have our first, second, and third rounders. Like, this team is set. Like, it really is. And I couldn't be any happier with what John and Mike have done. Like I said, I knew in the moment we hired Mike, he was going to transform this franchise. And he certainly did. We went from being a mediocre 7-9 win team to a Super Bowl champion in the span of 2 years under this dude's tutelage. So, man, I couldn't be any happier. And thank you, Mike. Thank you, John. Like, I don't. It's just I'm just grateful. Like I haven't really taken time to really bask in what these guys have done to this team, and I'm just super happy. So thank you guys so much. I mean, we won the Super Bowl. I'm still like, it's 12 days after the Super Bowl happened, and I'm still kind of like, we won the Super Bowl. So, but I really like that. Like I said, I really like with what Mike is doing right now. He's like, this Super Bowl is over. It's time to go for the next year. We already got our offensive coordinator. It's go time. So I really like that. Just another minor thing. Kirk Oluwadadi, who has previously said could either leave for another job or potentially we might cut. He's going to be remained on staff. He's going to be transitioned into a different role. So McDonald, who hired Zach Orr recently, that means that Zach Orr will be the inside linebackers coach. So, which is okay because Zach Orr, like I said, Zach Orr and Mike McDonald, they had those crazy years back in Baltimore in 22 and 23, especially in 23 when they had the best defense in the league that year. I mean, Zach Orr is already coming to the best defense in the league, and he's just going to help. He's just going to help have this team even better. I mean, we're talking Legion of Boom 2.0. Like I said, in previous videos, I'm going to keep saying it again. I do not like to compare. I normally don't like to compare those two, but they are both similar for one reason. They play for each other. That's the thing. Like John said, John Schneider, he had an exclusive interview with Seattle Sports, and he said the Legion of Boom, they were always the underdogs. They were like, why didn't you take me earlier? Why did you pick me in the fourth round? Why didn't you take me higher in the first round? Marshawn Lynch would be like, why didn't you trade for me sooner? And they all had that underdog mentality to them. Like, they were always looked over. But another thing that they had was they played for each other. This, mob ties, as they call, the dark side. The dark side. It's not really like that. It's not. They don't have a chip on their shoulder like the Legion of Boom. They're just here to play for each other. They're here to have one. They're here for their coach and they're here for their players. And that they're like you saw that photo of Kobe Bryant and Nick Emmanwori right behind Mike, and he was just calling out the plays to him. That's a player's coach right there. That's what you want. And I'm like, that's obviously there's differences between Pete and Mike, but that's the reason why these two different eras have won Super Bowls. They both played hard for their coach and they played hard for each other. Just simple as that. And that you usually have that, and on top of having great players in your roster, you're going to win a lot of games and you're most likely going to win the Super Bowl like we just did. So, I mean, it's just we're in a really good spot, and I'm really happy with what we're doing. And let's keep it going. But yeah, unless anything else happens, I think that's all I have for this video. Spring training just started. Mariners had their first game today. We beat the Padres 7-4, so that's great. I'm not gonna really cover spring training because it's basically it's just not something for me to cover. I know it's kind of like I cover preseason for NFL, but I don't know. The NFL's different than the MLB in my opinion, so less games, of course. So, but I will be making a preview video and kind of a review of last year since I didn't really get a chance to do that after the Mariners made the ALCS and almost was one game away from the World Series. Like, come on now. So I'll make a preview on that. So stay tuned for that, and I'll make videos throughout the season. But if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good night, and go Hawks, go Mariners, and go Kraken.